What's up? So I've been playing Diablo 4 every day since it came out, and these are 5 things that I think Diablo 4 needs to change immediately to make a lot of people a lot happier and make the game a lot better. Now, before I go into each of the 5 things, I do want to preface it by saying I am overall enjoying Diablo 4. I think it's an awesome game. I'm going to play it regardless if they fix these things or not. So I just want to say that so you don't think I'm some whiny person who's going to complain about every little thing in a game. So let's get to the list. The first thing that they must fix immediately is nightmare dungeons. They are just not fun. They are not engaging. They a lot of times have a lot of backtracking, which is annoying. They have annoying objectives, and they're just overall not good. As far as the loot goes, I don't know if it's necessarily less rewarding than it should be. I do know that when I do a nightmare dungeon, I don't feel like I'm getting anything special. I feel like the rewards are the same as if I'm doing Grim Favors or just any event in the open world. Nightmare Dungeons being a core piece of what is Diablo 4's endgame, I do feel like that needs to be the place that you're going to farm your gear. You're going to get good rewards, and you're going to get rewarded for going fast and getting things done, having a lot of Nightmare Dungeons per hour. In ARPGs, there has to be some balance between speed and reward. So take Path of Exile, for instance. You run maps in Path of Exile, you do them very fast. Your character is very fast, the map goes very fast, and the rewards are, variable. They're moderate, but you get it done. You can do a lot per hour. Diablo 4, on the other hand, dungeons take quite a bit more time relative to, say, Path of Exile. I'm spending right now about 9 minutes per Nightmare Dungeon, and I don't feel like what I'm getting is all that great. So Diablo 4 can't be slow and not rewarding. It either has to be slow and you get awesome rewards, or it has to be fast and you get moderate rewards. They really have to pick one or the other. And honestly, I don't care which it is. I'm not expecting Diablo 4 to be Path of Exile speed. I was always expecting that Diablo 4 would go slower. So with that, I'm expecting that when I spend 9 minutes on something, I'm expecting about 9 minutes worth of reward. And I feel like they can do this any number of ways. They can increase the number of monsters and leave the drop rate and the rarity the same, or they can keep the number of monsters, which is not ideal, but buff the drop rate for things. They should definitely get rid of the mini objectives, I think. The whole bringing the stones to the pedestals or saving the prisoners, it's just not engaging. It's boring. It should really just be a level that you can run and then a boss. The second thing I think they need to fix is density in general. And this is definitely for Nightmare Dungeons, they have to fix that, but they also have to fix it in the open world. The thing with the open world is you run around for a while on your horse, and then maybe you find a pack of like 3 monsters. You get off your horse, you kill them. Now your horse is on cooldown, you can't even go anywhere, and it just sucks. Pretty rarely am I running around in Diablo 4's open world, and I think, ooh, I want to get off my horse and kill this pack. There either needs to be a shitload more monsters per pack or just more packs in the open world in general. Either one I'm fine with. I have to feel as if when I'm running around in the open world that it's worth getting off my horse and blowing up a pack of monsters, because it's not worth it for 5 monsters. And density has implications for leveling as well, because higher the density means higher the XP, and right now I don't feel like we're getting enough XP for what we're doing. I feel like I'm running around a lot. I've been playing this game a lot for every day that's been out, including early access, and I'm only level 61. Probably for context, it's worth mentioning the type of player I am. So I don't play games for work. So I'm somewhere between a casual player and somebody that's playing every minute of every day because they're streaming or making content. I'm somewhere in the middle. So I probably haven't played as much as everybody else, but I've definitely played more than a casual player. The third thing I think they need to address is monster scaling. I understand why they did it, and I was kind of confused when I was first playing it. I was thinking, why is this game not getting any easier? Every time I would level up, it almost felt as a punishment. I would become less powerful, and it became clear to me what was actually happening in the game. I would level up, and then it would be the skill point or the paragon point that would push me higher in power to now match monsters that are also now higher in power. So this was kind of a shell shock to me because I'm a Path of Exile player, so I'm used to linearly increasing difficulty in a game, and in Path of Exile, if you go back to the very first area, it's the same difficulty as when you started at level 1. And Diablo 4, it's not like that. Everything in the game is the same power as you are, and then you can tune that higher by going to higher world tiers. For the longest time in this game, I felt like I was using a Z DPS build. It just was not fun. I did not feel powerful. Everything was a slog, and I was really not liking it. I will say that as I get leveled up and as I find new gear, it is becoming a little bit better. And at level 61, with a lot of my renown done and all the skill points, and then I've finally found some aspects that are actually good for my build, it's starting to feel pretty good, so I'm less concerned there. But in the beginning, oh god, it was not fun. I was not having a good time. Probably worth mentioning that my build is Bone Spear Necro, and there is 2 uniques that my build can benefit from, neither of which I've found yet in all my hours of playing, so that kind of feels bad. The fourth thing that they need to fix is social. This does not feel like a social game at all. Diablo 3, we had communities, we had global chat, we had different channels we could do, and it was just an overall more social experience. I'm actually shocked that Diablo 4 didn't launch with a global chat, considering that Diablo 3 had it, and Diablo 4 is billing itself as at least partially an MMO. It's open world. It feels a lot like Lost Ark, actually, and that's a very social game, and I would have expected this one too. I'm sure that they're going to fix this, but I think they should have done it straight away. At the moment, the game really feels like a single-player game unless you have actual friends that you're partying with and playing together. That is one exception. Obviously, party mode does work. You can do all that, and that works wonderfully. That's pretty well optimized. But if you're playing as a solo player, it's going to feel like a solo game. The fifth and final thing I think they need to fix, and this one is definitely more minor than the rest, I think, is the map overlay, or rather the lack thereof. This isn't so much an issue in open world, but it is a big time issue in nightmare dungeons and normal dungeons because of the way the levels are designed. You can easily have to backtrack, which is sort of unfortunate in itself. But if you don't know where to go, you can get lost pretty quick, and you got to click tab and look at it, you got to zoom it, and it's just not ideal. I really think they either have to give you a proper map overlay in the same way that Path of Exile Last Epoch has, or at a bare minimum, they need to give a zoomable minimap that can zoom out a lot. Even a zoomable minimap would make the mini objectives in dungeons a lot more tolerable, and I think that would go a long way for a lot of people. And that's it for the 5 things. I just want to reiterate again, because I can't stress this enough. Overall, I love Diablo 4. I think it's a terrific game. It looks amazing. It sounds amazing. I'm having a great time. I do have friends that play it, so we do play in parties. So even the social aspect is not that big a deal. But I do think these are 5 things that they need to fix pretty soon. But regardless if they do, I'm still going to play it because it's a great game. Let me know below in the comments what you think about the 5 points I made, and if you have any additional feedback, or just let me know how you're enjoying Diablo 4. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you later.
Yeah, you better listen. I'm bringing heat. You'll be a fan when I start rapping. Way I'll have your fucking head spinning. I'm known as spit vicious. Release bombs and go tick tick. Boom, you blown me that head missing. I'm a phenomenon. Stacking cheese like it's Parmesan. 8 different flows, call me Octomom. I'm moving fast like the Autobahn.